Welcome back to the Impact Show. It is Thanksgiving week. Is anyone else as fired up as I am for Thanksgiving week? I think Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. There's football, there's food, there's fitness, there's faith, there's feasting, and maybe even a little nap in there as well. But happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Man, oh man, it is a great week, and gobble, gobble, it is going to be a fast week. And I just, I'm so pumped up today to share today's episode. As a matter of fact, I want to give a huge shout out. We had so many people a few days ago here at the Day of Impact on the 20th here in San Diego at Fitness Quest 10 for the Impact Foundation. It was awesome. Huge shout out, huge Thanksgiving, huge gratitude for all of you. Speaking of gratitude, I just want to give a heartfelt shout out for all of you listening into this podcast. Maybe this is your first time. Maybe this is like your 223rd time, whatever it is. I just want to say thank you as we ramp up the podcast and spread it globally. It's all about inspiring and motivating people to live their best life so they could go create impact around the world. So thank you for listening in. I hope you have an incredible Thanksgiving weekend and week coming up. Always, always awesome. Also, today's episode powered by my friends over at Carnosine Beta Alanine. Yep, I've been working with Carnosine for a long time now, and I've been using pre-workout for, man, the better part of my life. And Carnosine, thank you for all you do to give me an edge in my workouts. And these days, I need every edge I can get. As a coach and trainer for over 25 years in the trenches, training the most elite athletes in the world, there's a few things when I guide them about supplements and what to do, what not to do. First and foremost, I always want to make sure that some supplement is NSF certified, one that is going to make sure that there's no banned substances in that supplement. And Carnosine Beta Alanine, the logo that appears inside most leading brands of pre-workout, you want to make sure it says Carnosine to ensure that there's zero banned substances. And Carnosine is backed by over 55 scientific studies. You want to make sure that you have Carnosine Beta Alanine in your pre-workout if you take your pre-workouts to improve your strength, endurance, power, and of course, even your focus. 3.2 grams a day is what I take. If I'm really amping that up and getting after it, you could take up to 6.4 grams per day for even faster results. Do me a favor, hop over to carnosine.com/TD. Yes, Carnosine built me my own page. I got a page there that you go there and got my little formula of what I take and some routines that you could check out, carnosine.com/TD. And whether you go online and order a pre-workout or you order your Carnosine, know this, Carnosine Beta Alanine is inside of major leading pre-workout brands, but I wanted you to make sure that Carnosine logo is represented. So thank you, Carnosine, for all you do for powering this podcast, and more importantly, for powering me as well. Speaking of powering up is one of the things with Thanksgiving week in play. I want you to think about this. Now is a great time to amp up your workouts. You got to amp up your workouts this week. It's not the purpose of today's episode is to share that because I got a new side hustle I'm going to talk about. But I want you to think about something. Maybe you're working out right now. Good. Kudos to you. Start getting a little pre-burn the bird, calorie crushing workouts in. There's 29 days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Man, am I really saying that? Christmas is it's coming up here pretty soon. Christmas and Hanukkah around the corner, but 29 days. And I was thinking about this the other day is I want to make sure those 29 days, I'm going to amp it up. What can you do to amp up your workouts, your health in the next 29 days? Nutritionally for me, I'm saying bye-bye to the sugar. Sugar. Can y'all say sugar? Yeah, sugar. SUGA. Sugar is the devil. Say goodbye to sugar. Bye-bye sugar. Alcohol. Bye-bye. I don't want to be like everyone else. Maybe you want to set some goals for your own nutrition on this. And I got to do a better job eating lunches. I've been so busy lately. I'm not doing a world-class job with my lunches. Anyone else? Anyone else? I'm like, man, breakfast's good, dinner's good, snack's not bad. I got to do a better job of lunches. So my man Jimmy, he does my meal prep. I got to get back on track between Thanksgiving and Christmas to make sure my lunches are done. Those are my goals. Supplementation, collagen, protein, definitely using my bubs, no doubt about it. Branch chain amino acids, I got to start to include them more consistently. And again, I talked about, although I don't take a break on it, I did share already the carnosine beta alanine. I always take that when pre-workouts, especially early in the morning. Nothing better when the kids aren't up and all of a sudden the blood starts percolating and I'm feeling a little bit of the monkey juice rocking and rolling. Yup, supplementation routine must be dialed in starting this week. And then recovery. What are you going to do for recovery between Thanksgiving and Christmas? I don't want excuses. Todd, it's busy. I got holiday parties. I'm busy with the kiddos. So am I. Let's amp it up. Recovery. For me, I have access to some things I've invested in, both personally and at Fitness Quest 10. I've got a Juve wall, red light therapy, 4 times a week. These are my goals. Next 29 days, Juve wall, 4 times a week. Got to get that bad boy going. Infrared sauna here at Fitness Quest 10, 3 times a week. Normatec boots, 1 time a week. We have a brand new recovery program. Yeah, recovery program. Thank you, Normatec boots by Hyper Ice, who are going to be powering our recovery program there. And massage and FST. I'm going to do 3 times, 3 either bodywork sessions or FST. That's my commitment to you, all you podcast listeners. I'm publicly declaring my commitments to you, but I want to hear from you. What are you committing to between Thanksgiving coming up here in just a few days? Maybe you're listening to this on the way to grandma's house or grandpa's house. Good. What are you committing to between Thanksgiving and Christmas to amp up your workouts and to amp up your health? There you have it. Without further ado, it's time to talk about my new side hustle. Let's go to today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. Let me talk about that word impact. Y'all know I love that word impact. And this morning as you tune in, we talking about the hustle. Yeah, you know, the side hustle, that thing that we absolutely love to do is a little extra hustle. Well, I'm going to talk about the side hustle today. Before I go there though, I was in the Word this morning, and I want to share something that's on my heart, and it's one of my favorite scripture verses of all time, and it's Luke 12:48. Luke 12:48, and Luke 12:48 says this, for everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be required, and to whom much has been committed, of him they will ask the more. To whom much is given, much is required. I want to have that serve as the foundation for today's hustle, because when you think about today's day, have you ever thought this to yourself lately? Man, I'm bored. Man, I'm stale. I feel like I need a new challenge. I feel like I need something to spice things up. I need a little extra juice in the tank. Can anyone else relate? A little bit of extra juice, a little juju, a little mojo in their life? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Yeah, I see you. I hear you out there. Good. But just remember that. To whom much is given, much is required. All of us, regardless of where you are listening around the world today, have been given much. Let's stay in the mindset of that, including what is it we still have to manifest? What is it we're going to manifest in our life? And to me, I always go back to the manna. Get your morning routine dialed in, and you're in the manna, and you're tapping into the whispers, as I say in chapter 9 of Get Your Mind Right. Get your mind right, get your mind right, is we think about your purpose in life. And today, as you listen in, I'm going to share a new side hustle that I'm hustling hard on right now, and it's a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun that you'll be hearing more about in the months to come. But I want to share it for the first time here today, because I do have a new side hustle, and it's actually something that I believe each and every one of us, as you really think about your passions, your purpose, and what you do. If I was to ask you this question, what do you do for a living? What do you say? What do you say when I say, what do you do for a living? I was listening to Pastor T.D. Jakes several years ago. I was out for actually a run. I still remember that run. It was an epic run. My knees were feeling like $1,000,000. My back was feeling good. I'm like, man, I got Pastor T.D. Jakes in my ears, and I'm running. And he says, you don't have to put a period after everything you do. You could put commas, because for him, as a pastor, as an author, as a speaker, as at that time he had his own TV show, he had commas after all his names. Sometimes you only got to do one thing, you only got to do one thing. Well, I've often thought about this, and having many hats for many years, is sometimes I feel when I'm wearing the hats that I absolutely love to do, the roles, those 5 roles in your life that you love to do. What are those things? For me, I'm first and foremost a coach. I love coaching, love training. I love changing people's lives. Yes, I'm a writer. Yes, I'm a speaker. On that. But most importantly, I'm a life transformer. I'm a life transformer. Anything that I do, if it's going to have to do with transforming someone's life, doesn't matter if it's a mom, dad, athlete, non-athlete, a kid, someone who's battling drugs, someone who's overcoming the hard knocks, whatever it may be, someone who's looking for more purpose and clarity in their life. That's what fires me up a little bit. So this new side hustle, I'm actually super fired up for several reasons. Why? Because one of the things I love in life is football. Football. I was thinking about this because one of my roles over the years, number one, I played football since the time I was about, 10 years old. Pop Warner High School first back in New Jersey in Brick. High school football for 4 years. College football for 5 years. And then when I was done playing college football, I went overseas and played professionally in Europe for 2 years. And that took me to the likes of Berlin, Germany, Amsterdam, France, where I played in the World Football League for the Amsterdam Admirals, where the year after I was there was another quarterback who took that spot. His name was Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner. I don't know if you've ever heard of Kurt Warner, but Kurt Warner was the quarterback in 1996 in Amsterdam. I was there in 95, believe it was. And then Warner took over that role, and the rest is history. And here I am doing this podcast for you, boys and girls. Ha ha. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Cannes, France. That was my last stop, Cannes, France, where I actually eventually ended up blowing out my back, 3 herniated discs, spinal stenosis, degenerative back disease, left me motionless on a football field in France. And that devastating day that destroyed my dreams actually became the biggest blessing of my life, because it allowed me for the next 25 years to go into a dream that I never even had envisioned, in not only starting my own gym, but working and transforming thousands of lives along the way. Heck, football even took me to Taipei, Taiwan, and Tokyo, Japan in that time, where I had the opportunity to play both in Taipei for the Taipei Dragons. Has anyone ever heard of the Taipei Dragons? I was a quarterback for the Taipei Dragons. And of course, at William & Mary, went to Tokyo, Japan. Why do I share that? Well, because even now, football has a huge role in my life. I coach at the high school here, the local high school in town at Scripps Ranch High School. My boys, Luke, played there for 3 years, and my son Brady plays there now as a junior. And I love both as a strength and conditioning coach and the quarterback coach. I love being down there many days of the week. On many levels. And heck, football, I still train a lot of football athletes, both high school, college, and of course in the NFL. So I love football. I also love business. I love business. One of the things that Randy Hetrick said on a previous episode, if you have not listened to Randy Hetrick's episode a couple months ago, he talked about something that I had a light bulb moment. And he talked about starting a business versus kind of taking a business from $1 million to $100 million. And I realized then, I love starting businesses. I'm a starter. I love creating success. I love the actual embryonic startup aspect of creating success. And what does that mean? Honestly, I'm enamored with building championship cultures, winning products, and making a difference in the community. I love that. I love creating impact. I'm enamored with creating championship cultures. I don't care if it's in Pop Warner, if it's at Fitness Quest 10, if it's at a high school, if it's at a pro team. Like, I want to create a culture that becomes so contagious that if you're in the front office, if you're a player, if you're the equipment manager, if you're the front desk receptionist, you're like, man, I love being here. I've realized along the years. I love that. That makes me tick. I love starting that and creating that success in there. I also realized I love entertainment. And when I say entertainment, y'all are going to laugh because unless you know me really well, I'm a closet WWE fan. I love professional wrestling. Not necessarily the wrestling physical part, the entertainment part. Some of the best entertainment is professional wrestling on the WWE. Okay, I'm going to get my haters or people who disagree like, TD, really? You watched that Monday Night Raw stuff and all the... Yes, I do. Ever since I was a kid with like Bruno Sammartino and Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and you name it all the way down. I can name these wrestlers, but you know what? I still love the entertainment aspect of what the WWE provides. And why do I share that? Because when I look at football, I look at business, I look at entertainment, I've got a new side hustle that combines the three of these things, that combines my love and passion for the game of football. I absolutely love that. I love business, and I love trying to win in business and to create those cultures. And of course, I love entertainment. And recently, I accepted a job that I'm considering a side hustle. You know, it's a part-time, full-time side hustle to complement what I'm already doing as a coach and a trainer, leading Fitness Quest 10 in my mastermind. But I actually accepted a job, a side hustle, I'll call it, as a GM for the brand new arena football team in town called the San Diego Strike Force. Yeah, you're listening to the new GM of the San Diego Strike Force arena football team. Woohoo! Yeah, fired up. You're like, are you serious, TD? Yup, I'm 100% serious that this new side hustle for me has me super fired up. It actually has me super fired up more to coach more, to lead more in my mastermind and talk about business and coaching and leadership and culture development. And can I take the same principles that I've had for 22 years at Fitness Quest 10 and now take it into a different sector, into professional athletics and build a champion from the ground up, meaning like there wasn't a season last year because of COVID, and taking this new team here in San Diego, bringing football back to San Diego. Can I get an amen to that? Because the last I checked, the San Diego Superchargers, for whatever reason, decide to move up north a few hours away. Not sure why they do that, but until we get them back, we're going to put our stake in the ground, and I'm going to have a little say in the matter and get the Strike Force to be the lone professional football team in town until we get the Chargers back. So you're asking, TD, why the heck did you take that job? Let me tell you why. Here's the reasons why. Not that we need to make sure that I tell you all the reasons why, but I want to get you inside my head for a moment. Number one, I just told you I love football. I love business. I love entertainment. I love impact. And this opportunity, this side hustle, as we're calling it, is a side hustle that is allowing me to share my passions for football in the springtime, because fall means high school football. And then I go through this really time in my life where I get depressed. From like February after the Super Bowl until about August when the guys go to training camp, I'm in a state of depression. Well, not really, but football's not being played. Now, as the GM of the San Diego Strike Force in the Indoor Football League, the IFL, now I can have football 12 months a year. This is a good thing. Secondly, I truly did want to bring professional football back to San Diego and have a part in it. I mean, to me, the thought of bringing professional football back to San Diego, let alone winning a championship for this city, for a man who's been engrossed in this culture here in San Diego for almost 23 years now, it fires me up. And I want to have my fingerprints on this championship that we will bring back to San Diego. The third aspect, honestly, I needed a challenge. I needed a new challenge. And I needed a new challenge in a new arena. Pardon the pun, but a new aspect of my life and career. One that was going to stretch me outside my comfort zone. See, I've shared this on previous episodes. If you follow closely here to the Impact Show, I've always said since day one, if you haven't listened to the first one on Impact, you go back and listen about what Impact's going to bring. I told you, I'm going to show up as I am. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. I'm showing up as myself, and I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be genuine. And during the pandemic and getting through all of this, as if it wasn't a challenge enough, what I've learned is I needed a different challenge. For 22 years almost, here January will be 22 years, we've had tremendous success. But as God has whispered to me, and as God has whispered some things I need to be obedient on, as he stretches me into new areas, is I need a new challenge. And the good thing about this, as my wife reminded me, is you wouldn't be accepting this challenge and this job if it wasn't in San Diego. So she said, if this was like in Dallas or in LA or New York, you wouldn't be accepting this right now. So accept the challenge and step up. The fourth aspect of why I took this new side hustle is fun. I wanted to have fun. Has anyone in the last 6 months alone said, man, I need to have more fun in my life? Yeah, me too. Because the last 2 years of that pandemic absolutely kicked my butt just as much as it kicks most other people's butts as well. And I was like, man, I need to have a little more fun. And I love football. I love personnel. I love building culture. And this is going to be fun. And because there's a team around me that can help me fulfill the role that I want to do and bring that championship back, we are going to have some fun, and I'm going to have some fun. This city's going to have some fun. The indoor football league is going to be injected with a little positivity and passion like they haven't seen in about, it was founded in 2009. So in the last, 12 years or so, we're going to inject even more fun into the IFL, baby. Number 5, why? Quite frankly, one of the things I've scratched my head on for the last several years, when I look back in my journal recently, since 2017, after Strong, was I always questioned this. Could the principles that I built my business and culture on at Fitness Quest 10, could they transcend into another sector, another industry? Could I take what we built here at Fitness Quest 10, and could these principles transfer over to build a championship culture in another business, another industry, and cross over to the fact that if I can combine my years as a trainer, as a coach, as a leader, as an owner, as an entrepreneur, as an entertainer, could we potentially build something special that's never been built here before and build a champion? Well, that enamored me enough to say yes. I'm curious to prove to myself, could I do that? That's one of the reasons why I accepted the job. A sixth reason why. If you have read my books, followed my story at all, and if you haven't, maybe this is the first time you're listening to this show, I shared earlier on, after college football, I went overseas and played professional football in Europe, Berlin, Amsterdam, Cannes, France, and I know what it's like to have a dream, my friends. I know what it's like to be in your 20s, your young 20s, your mid-20s, to have a dream and to go the circuitous route to the top, because my dream was to play in the NFL. I always wanted to play in the NFL, but a back injury derailed me from that, and I was willing to play, I don't care if it was CFL, arena football, European football, whatever it was. But you know what? After 25 years of being a coach, and let me remind you, I'm still first and foremost a coach and a life transformer and everything that I'm going to continue to be. This is the side hustle. But I'm really, really excited to work with these young men who have a dream, and they got to go the long route, the circuitous route, because maybe one of those guys fulfills the dream and goes to the NFL. But maybe the other 24 that are on the 25-man roster, maybe they develop different dreams they never even envisioned because of they had to go the circuitous route, and they become prolific public speakers or motivational speakers or prolific entrepreneurs in other realms, because as we get out into the community of San Diego and the other 15 cities that we're going to travel to throughout our season from March 22 to August of 2022 and get fired up around this country, in some ways, I still relate to those young men who have a dream. Those guys that have a dream to play football, and they're not getting paid a lot of money, but we're going to put some butts in the seat and we're going to entertain. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a great, successful business. And most importantly, we're going to be wrapped around that, doing it the right way, and take the impact principles that we talk about all the time. The same ones I share here on this podcast, taking the impact principles, imparting it now into a professional football organization, albeit it's an indoor arena football league. I don't care if it's Major League Baseball. I don't care if it's the NFL. I don't care if it's fitness. I don't care if it's a doctor's office. You put the culture right, and let me tell you what, you attract the right people to your team, all of a sudden you have a championship winning culture. And the seventh and final reason why I took this side hustle is because my wife told me I had to. Literally, my wife Melanie's like, you need to take this. I had all the reasons why not to take this. And the king of positivity, was like, Mel, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do this. Man, between, helping the Fitness Quest 10 and everything I'm doing with the podcast, she's like, are you kidding me? These are your passions. This is what you love, and this is how you've lived your life. You've said yes to opportunities that fit within your passions, and yes, it's going to help you with your speaking. You're going to be speaking more on impact and hit more stages, and you're going to be working with these kids and helping their dreams as well. And the more people you help, guess what happens? The impact expands. I'm like, gosh, why is she always right? Why is she always right? And that was the final reason of like, you know what? I've got to take this position. So as the new GM of the San Diego Strike Force, I'm so excited. And that's even more reason why I'll be doing more traveling throughout 2022 to not only come speak on Fridays and Saturdays on the days that we're playing games and doing impact rallies. Impact rallies coming to a city near you. Now you get double the pleasure because you bring your family out in the evening with your little kiddos. We pack the house, and it's okay if you don't necessarily wear the Strike Force gear, but that you're in the stands and getting a little fired up. But I got to tell you, there's been some interesting since I accepted this new role here about a month ago. It was just announced here November 10th. It was just announced, but you're going to get some good smiles out of this of like, how am I spending my time now in the side hustle? I'm putting about, let's say, 5 to 10 hours a week into this new side hustle. So plenty of time to still do the other 90 hours a week of everything else that we all do. But truly, number one, I need to hire a coach. That's my first. GM needs to hire the head coach. So I'm actively searching for a head coach. So if you have the desire to be an arena football coach, I don't care where you're from, that's my first pecking order. I got to hire a coach. So that's one. Two, I'm loving this, evaluating talent. We've already had 2 tryouts. The third one's coming up here at the end of November. And I'm finding in my, quote, spare time, I'm evaluating these kids on tape. I say kids. They're grown men. They're in their 20s and early 30s. I'm calling them kids. But I'm finding that in my spare time on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm evaluating game tape. Melanie's like, Todd, what are you watching? I'm watching some highlights of this young man who actually finished from the CAA school. Love his running style. You should see this guy boot scoot and boogie down the sideline. He got a 4.5 40. Let me tell you what, this guy's going to be a game changer. He's going to help us bring a championship to San Diego. You say, what are you talking about? So anyway, I'm loving the personnel of evaluating talent. Now you think about this. 22 years of evaluating talent at Fitness Quest 10. A lot of hires, a lot of fires. When you're evaluating talent, and you have an eye for evaluating talent, whether it's as a trainer, as a coach, do they got the it factor or not? You got to have the X's and O's. As a trainer and a coach, you got to have the X's and O's, but also as a football player, any athlete, you got to have the X's and O's. But I'm also looking for things like, what kind of character does he have? Is he going to be a nuisance? Is he going to buy into the culture? Does he get the idea that part of being an indoor football, arena football league athlete, because to me, if you're a pro athlete, part of your responsibility is to get into the community and serve the community. I want to go out and serve the kids here in San Diego and beyond. I want to do great things for our community of San Diego and be a positive impetus to say that the San Diego Strike Force is really creating impact in our community. So that's a huge aspect in evaluating talent. And number 3 is closely connected to that is I want to connect in the community. Here at my gym, Fitness Quest 10, I've been really, really engrossed in the Scripps Ranch and San Diego community for many, many years now. But you know what? I want to go further into our community. And as I've expanded my vision to take impact nationally and even globally, one thing that I love is you got to take care of your own backyard, your own neighborhood. I'm pumped to do community events and to speak at these different functions that we're going to be having and that coming up here. So connecting in the community. The fourth thing is, honestly, it's working with the leadership team for the San Diego Strike Force. Vivi Lynn and Brett. These are folks who sold me on the vision. Vivi's the president of the team, and Brett is the CFO of the team. Said, listen, we're going to put people around you so that as this is part of your side hustle, I have an assistant GM. We have people in place who can help us execute what's going to need to happen for us to bring that championship to San Diego on the field and in the community and with our sponsorships and everything that we're doing. So to me, when you're around the right people, you've heard me talk about iron sharpens iron, the Vivies and the Bretts of the world. And I'm going to have Vivi on here in a future episode because you talk about a female executive leader who is doing amazing things in the sports arena. My goodness gracious. Watch out for her. Keep your eyes on what this woman is doing because you talk about a powerhouse in sport. Vivi Lynn is going to do some great things with this team as well. And then lastly, how I'm spending my time now is creating the plan, creating the championship plan. And when I say creating the plan, I'm talking about the culture, right? It's almost like the culture book, learning the business of arena football because I don't have experience with arena football. So it's, to me, I'm actually learning the game of football. I am an infant when it comes to that, learning the X's and O's. And as a football guy, arena football, indoor football, a little bit different than outdoor football. You need to make sure that we hire a coach who understands the indoor football game. So as I look for a coach, it's not just any old coach who knows the game of football, but someone who actually understands what the indoor football game is like and the culture of what that's like, and also being a GM. Right? Being a GM, although this is a new role for me, I look at this as a leadership role. And again, imparting the culture into a championship caliber team is going to be really important, and it fires me up. Lastly, what does this all mean for you? Nothing other than you're going to be hearing me with a little more fire in my voice, talking about a little Strike Force arena football. You're like, TD, I love the NFL. So do I. But the NFL only happens between like August and February. Now we got football coming at you 12 months a year. This is a good thing. But some of the lessons, honestly, in this whole process, because I don't know if this is going to be a 1-year deal or 3 years. When I look at this, is like, I want to win right now. I want 1 year, and that's all I want. So how does that impact you? Like, what are some of the lessons that you could possibly glean from this little side hustle that I have going on right now? Number one, maybe you say yes more often when opportunities come up. I had all the reasons why to say no. Honestly, I'm not going to tell you all the reasons why other than I'm busy. I've got a lot of things going on. But when Melanie reminded me and said, you know how much fun you're going to have doing this, putting your team on the field and literally striving for a championship, and the fact that it's something new for you when right now you're feeling a little kind of burnt out of doing the same thing over and over, this is going to put juice in. It's actually going to help all the things you're doing with the podcast and the mastermind. I'm like, gosh darn it again. She's right. She's right. Number two, take more risk. Take more risk in your life. Because I got to be honest with you. The team might stink. I could be horrible. I've been watching a lot of this Ted Lasso. Do we have any Ted Lasso fans in the house? Melanie got me hooked on this Ted Lasso thing, and now I'm like, wow, I kind of feel like Ted Lasso, because even though I'm a football guy, I'm not an indoor football arena guy. So, like, I could be horrible, but I also might bring a championship on the first year. There's a risk. What's the community going to think if I take a winning business in Fitness Quest 10 and I'm trying something new, and oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if it's not what I envision? I'm okay with the risk. Where are the opportunities and the risks in your life that you're saying no to? Because let me tell you what, it's really easy to say no to opportunities. And you might need to say no, because I say no to a lot of opportunities too. But if it passes the passion check, If it passes the passion check, you're like, I love this. I love this. This moves my soul. I'm going to be around this sport I love. I'm going to be around athletes who have a dream. Then guess what? If it lights you up, that energy is going to come into everything I do, every call, every podcast. So if you can do more things that light you up, including when I'm training and coaching my NFL athletes still, I'm still trying to convince Breeze to come back and be my indoor football arena quarterback, but we haven't come to agreement yet. No, he won't do that, but maybe he'll commentate the game, even though he's got better gigs. But you know where I'm at. We're getting there. We have strides to go. Number 3, you got to have a vision for what you want. What's your vision? When Vivi and Brett came in to meet with me the first time, it had nothing to do with the GM of the San Diego Strike Force. Let me be real here. They came in because they want to know if Fitness Quest 10 would actually be a sponsor to the new indoor football league called the San Diego Strike Force. I'm like, tell me about the Strike Force. I've heard of them, but I really don't know anything about them. And she told me, and I kind of scratched my head. I said, do you mind if I go to the whiteboard? Because in my new office here on podcasting, got a whiteboard because whiteboard is where all the best stuff gets done. You got to have a whiteboard. And on the whiteboard, I start drawing out how you bring a championship caliber culture into an arena football team in San Diego where there's a lot of stuff to do. Hey, my goal is to have 5,000 to 10,000 people, literally butts in the seats at every game. And how are you going to do that? Well, you got to have a great product. You got to have that entertainment component. But when she was hearing the vision of how you create a champion, she said, Todd, we're looking for a head coach and a GM. I laughed. I literally laughed. I said, are you kidding me? Not a chance that happens. Well, after the 8th time of her asking me to be the head coach and the GM, I said, take the head coach out because I definitely don't have the bandwidth to be the head coach, but I can help you find a great head coach. I'm still looking for that head coach. But as a GM, if I'm around the right people, I have an assistant GM, I have the right people on the scouting and evaluation and all of the folks who are doing our combines and tryouts and on the front office side. If we got the right team in place, then we can take what I'm going to do with our culture in the media, in our community, and create the impact in San Diego that goes far beyond the arena. And now, to me, that fires me up. So you got to have a vision. So what's your vision and how are you going to create that? And Vivi and Brett have an awesome vision and big goals for this organization. And that fires me up because mine is just as big as theirs. Number 4, be open to new opportunities in your life. Be open right now. You're like, I am open, Todd. I am open, Todd. No, I'm talking when you write in your journal, you got to have a journal. And I want you to write in your journal, what are you open to? What are the new opportunities that you're open to receiving in your life? And sometimes those opportunities, you have absolutely no idea either A, where it's leading or B, the end result. Like I have no idea what's the end result going to be, but let me tell you what, the process of building a champion and taking the culture that I built for 21, 22 years now at Fitness Quest 10 and putting it into a new arena, literally into a new arena, down at Pachanga, downtown sports arena. Heck, my vision is to build a new arena. I'm going to turn this hat around. I'm going to get a little serious. I want to build a new arena. This is what's going to happen. We're going to build a new arena in San Diego, and eventually the San Diego Chargers will return home. But first, we got to build some championships with the Strike Force, and we're going to make that happen. Number 5, lesson. Always be a student. Always keep learning. I got to be honest with you. In so many ways, it feels good to be a student again. It feels good to be green in some areas because I've been coaching and training for a long time. And I will always be defined as a coach, trainer, life transformer. And now as a life transformer, coach, and trainer, I'll be doing that in addition to how I do it now in my mastermind group and at FQ10. I'll be doing it on a football field and in the front offices of a professional football organization. It feels really good to continue to learn a new skill set. So what do you still need to learn? Where can you grow? Where can you stretch to the point where you stretch and you're uncomfortable? Not being so comfortable that you're so comfortable being mediocre. Because right now I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you today as you listen to this. I'm like, man, I'm going to share with our podcast listeners, our beautiful mind right maniacs, all you fire-breathing dragons of, you know what? That's why I took this job, is to say, never be content with the success you've had. If you got failure, that's okay. You can always say no. You can always say no in the future. And the last part of just one thing I want to pass on, another lesson throughout this whole thing is, I got to tell you, it is fun to have a side hustle. It is fun to have a passion project, something that's on the side. This is not a full-time 40, 50-hour job that I'm in, although it probably could be. Fortunately, we have a great team that Vivian and Brett have surrounded me with, so I can create the magic pixie dust and do my thing with the coaching staff and the front office, and eventually what we will build as a team as we evaluate talent from now all the way through training camp in February 2022. What's your side hustle? I've been a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, for many years. And Gary V has talked about having a side hustle. What's your side hustle? And for me, my side hustle may have been as an author, but as I write now more and speak now more, what's your side hustle? Football has been a side hustle. And now with this new role that I'm in, it's a side hustle. What's your side hustle? What's the side hustle that's going to juice you up to actually fuel where you were stuck? Like, what's that passion project? And I want to know. I literally want to know what your passion project is. What's your side hustle? It doesn't need to define you. It doesn't need to overtake your whole life and career, that it becomes everything. This side hustle that I'm doing, I'm going to have a lot of fun. And I can't wait to show up to the arena and watch my men compete and us build a championship culture. And we're going to absorb a couple losses, maybe. But we're going to go after a championship, and it's going to be in that striving for a championship where that's going to be the fulfillment. So I ask you and leave you with these questions. Where are you having the most fun in your life right now? Truly, where are you having the most fun? For me, it's always been coaching. It's always been training. It's been being around the athletes and being around a team of people that is absorbed by the process of trying to build a champion. To build a champion in life, in sport, in business. So where are you having fun? Where are you going to double down the chips to say, this is what I'm going to do so that in my passion project, in my side hustle, as I do this for, an hour a week on the weekends, 10 hours a week, what am I going to do to parlay into potentially even creating more impact? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, here was the question I asked myself. Does this help me create more impact or not? Okay, let's get some quiet time. God, by accepting this position, is this something that you want me to do because it's going to help create more impact in the city and community of San Diego and throughout the country as you're calling me to do? The whispers for me were clear. The answer was yes. I needed to take this role and trust the process, albeit it's, quote, arena football. It's indoor football. It's not the NFL. And trust the process of pouring to men and the women who are working for the organization and say, let's build a champion and let's create some impact. So while for me it might be a part-time job, it's really a full-time side hustle that I'm having an absolute blast at. Let me repeat, it's a full-time side hustle that I'm having a blast at, and I want you to do the same thing. I want you to think about your side hustle today. I want you to share your side hustle with me. And the next time you see me, whether it's on the podcast or at a fitness conference or a coaching conference, or perhaps at a local arena near you, I want you to say, hey, coach, what's up, TD? Thanks for that podcast, because guess what? I got a new side hustle, and it's helping me create more impact also. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it and got great value out of it. As a matter of fact, I would love to hear your takeaways. What are you going to do? What action steps are you going to take? And the best way to do that is to text me. I want you to text me through my new community. All you have to do is text me your takeaways, 619-304-2216. 619-304-2216. Text me. Become part of my community. As you do that, you're going to get not only exclusive giveaways, and some additional content, I want to connect with you because, yes, I will see everything that you text me, and you'll get a return text from yours truly. So join up for my community right now, and don't forget, you got to keep creating impact, baby. It's all about community.